Hey, Talomik here with DNB Academy, and today I want to look at alternative ways that we can creatively filter our bass sounds. So I've taken this bass sound from another video that I've just done, and I'll play it quickly. I've removed all the filtering, so don't worry too much about the LFO and stuff. The sound itself doesn't really matter anyway. I've done it like this, but yeah, as long as it's like a full spectrum sound, it doesn't matter. I've turned filtering off. We've got this notch filter in the EQ, and the distortion has some movement to it and things like that, but it's basically just a big fat loud sound. And the first thing that I want to do is to add an auto filter. So I'll do this after any processing and stuff. Basically make the sound first and then add a filter. So we'll switch it to bandpass mode onto 12 dB, so we've got a slightly wider band. I'll then add another filter, and we'll look at a couple of ways that we can do this, but this is kind of way one, and that's on a notch. And then we'll add another filter that again has a bandpass on it. I may switch these to 24 dB, but for now we'll leave as are. So we'll just draw in some patterns. I kind of try to be a little bit conscious about where the higher notes are and open the filter up a bit more, as if we almost had like filter tracking going on. Cool. Doesn't matter too much. And then we'll have them. Cool. And then we'll have this one as well. The two notch filters, I don't also worry about overlapping or anything like that. We kind of want separate movement, just because it's a little bit more interesting tonally than having filters that are all doing the same thing. And one other thing we could do after we've done all of this is, if we like bits of it, if bits of it really work and bits don't, we can either edit the automation or bounce it out as audio and cut the audio up as well. So I've done both in the past. Cool. We'll kind of look at the 12 and 24 dB a little bit later on. So the next step is OTT, just to bring some of that tone back, and then we'll throw on a soft clipper as well. And at this point we can start looking at whether we want 12 or 24 dB. Yeah, cool, I quite like that. And we can look now at potentially one of these goes a little too high at one point. Maybe it's that first filter. This is what I mean, you can kind of go in and like edit bits of it. Cool, that will do. And now we can sort of copy. So I've got some distortion here. We'll paste that later on as well. And I've got erosion here. We'll actually move that afterwards so that we're bringing that noise back afterwards. And cool, there we go. So that's, you kind of get the idea, right? We're stacking filters, creating some kind of almost randomized movement, and then again bringing some of that tone back with multiband compression and distortion and soft clipping, etc. Basically trying to bring those highs back a little bit. So if we take these now, and I'll turn that off, we can look at maybe doing this a different way. So we'll look at a bandpass and then a low pass filter as well. So I'll actually group these two together and map the filter frequency to a macro. And then if we click map here, we can edit the mapping. So let's rename these. Cool, so I can see which one's the low pass, and I'll actually bring that up a little bit, just so that basically what we're doing is adding a steeper curve to the top of the bandpass, but leaving the low end of the bandpass a bit more open. Let's try potentially bringing that down a little bit more, like so. And now we'll look at the automation. So again, we've only got one layer of automation going this time, but we've still got 2 filters. So and same as before, slightly random, we'll edit it afterwards. Let's remove that distortion. Yeah, you get the idea. This will require a little bit more tweaking, but tonally you can hear how it's a similar concept, but it sounds slightly different. And that's sort of it, right? Again, starting with full spectrum sound and then layering some filters up in Ableton rather than worrying about doing it in the synth. I think, to be honest, it worked better with this one. But you'll also find sometimes when you're doing it with different kind of tones, different bass sounds, you might find that the low pass band pass works better. You might find that tweaking like a really resonant high pass and then having a low pass a bit higher, so you've got like a kind of customized band pass filter, might work as well. Plenty of different ways to do it, but it's a nice simple concept to get some more interesting tones. Any questions, let us know, and I'll see you in the next one.